I'm not trying to preach to nobody. This is what you got to do with your life. Hell no, shoot. You like burgers? Kill it. Dale gas. I'm just saying that's what I'm going through. And then people think, oh, he's trying to lose weight because he's doing movies. He wants to look better. He wants to be accepted. He wants to be accepted. No, 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 no. Don't get it twisted, you guys. Don't even think that. At my highest weight of 445 pounds, the level of acceptance I had was amazing, okay? To put it to you like this, at 445 pounds, there was women throwing themselves at me. At 445 pounds, there was men. Oh, in Bay Area, let me tell you something about gay men. I know you're in here. I saw the line. I'm going to tell you something about gay men. Gay men are very creative, they're very persistent, and they're very opportunistic when they want to achieve the mission. They're just as calculated as straight men are. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you a story, right? So one night, Martin and I are at a bar, and we're having drinks. And that should come as no surprise. Oh, really? They were drinking? Yeah, we killed it. So as we're drinking, Martin is paying attention and he's listening in to a conversation that's happening about 15 feet away between these two girls. They're going back and forth, and one of them was like, I don't believe we finished the whole bottle. How the hell are we supposed to get home? Martin stands up, looks at me and says, bro, I'll be back. And then it began, the hunt. You know, freaking. Gay men are the exact same way. They listen, they focus, they pay attention. They wait for one of the cows to get away from the rest of the herd so they can corner it and strike. 4 hours later, Martin and I are at the bar, and I'm 16 shots of tequila in. Oh yeah, and I feel fantastic. And I tell Martin, bro, I don't remember the last time I had this many shots of tequila. And Martin goes, bro, you're crazy, Fluffy. You're crazy. Wait right here. I gotta pee. And so he leaves to the restroom, and I'm leaning against the bar. The bar is the only thing keeping me standing. And from across the room, this guy stands up, looks at his friends, and says, I'll be back. And then it began, the hunt. And he gets in my face and he tells me, I just have to say, I am such a huge fan of yours. Oh my God! Anytime someone says they're a huge fan of mine, it automatically makes me smile. Even more so if I've been drinking. Oh yeah, if I'm drinking, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Bro, I was so loaded, I bowed. Thank you. The guy puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I just have to say, you have gotten me through some difficult time. And he stops talking and he squeezes and he goes, oh my God. Do you work out? I was so drunk, I said, a little. You're the first person to notice. And he's like, oh, you could totally tell. And he squeezed again. And I said, I'm sorry, am I overstepping? No, bro, you don't understand. I'm stressed out. That felt pretty good. Want me to rub both your shoulders and your back and scratch it? Because I will. Oh, whoa. Hey, go for it. He grabs me by the shoulders, you guys. He grabs me by the shoulders and he turns me around. Now I'm facing the bartender, and the bartender is trying to warn me. The bartender's like, hello, hello, hello. You know, we were trying to figure out this whole thing with Netflix and doing a new special. And during the pandemic, 2020 especially, it was not even a possibility of assembling a few people, much less a stadium. So Netflix made it clear, we need a new special sooner than later, okay? This was right before they didn't have Squid Games yet. You remember?
Red light.
Yeah. Some of you are like, that's racist. No, that's accurate. That's really good. So anyway, Netflix said as soon as there's an opportunity to record a new special, we need a special. So with time going by, there became two options for recording a special in late 2020. One was Florida, and the other was Texas. Some people from Texas cheering? Yeah? Okay. You could cheer all you want. That's where I got COVID. Yeah, chingate esa. So here's the story. So I had done shows before, in Texas, and I had never done a show in San Antonio. So the original plan was we wanted to record a special in San Antonio for the new Netflix show, for the series. So we couldn't really travel too much. And remember, they kept telling us, stay in your bubble, stay in your COVID bubble. Don't forget to stay in your bubble. So in order to be as proactive and just careful, we all went out there together as a team, okay? And then we all basically said, we're going to do a residency in San Antonio for 30 days. 30 shows in 30 days. And on the last day, we'll record a new special. This way it gives me a chance to start performing again because it'd been over a year since I touched the stage. And so we get there and they gave me the option. Do you want to stay in a house or do you want to stay in a hotel? And I said, well, I've never lived in Texas before, so let's see what a house feels like. So they got us like this fancy Airbnb, and basically, it was Martin, Alfred, my friend Rick, myself. It was like four of us. It was like the Mexican version of the real world, okay? So we're all in this big house together. Everyone gets their own room. And so, of course, I get the big room because it's me. And, look at some. No. Yes. So I open up the door. I turn on the light. Click. And I'm like, this is a beautiful room. Wow, look how big it is. And then I notice there's a hole in the wall. And I said, that's weird. So I get really close to the wall. And when I got close, I realized it's not a hole. It's a big-ass roach. And let me tell you, I am not exaggerating when I tell you that cuca was this big. That roach was this big. Now, I have used this unit of measure before to exaggerate. And let me tell you, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that freaking cucaracha was this big. And I don't want you guys thinking, oh, what, you think you're too good for roaches? No. I grew up with roaches my whole life. My mom and I, we lived in apartment buildings, projects. We always had roaches, but they were different. First of all, they were this big. And California roaches are very different. Okay? For example, when you turn on the light, they scatter. In Texas, he chilled. In California, they respond to sound and movement. Ah! Scatter. I tried my California technique on this Tejano roach. I said, ah! And the roach was like, what? Oh my God, I don't think he's in my room. I think I'm in his. And at that moment, my tour manager walks in the room and she's like, is everything okay with the accommodations? I said, no, the room is beautiful, but look at the wall. Aw, there's a hole in the wall. I said, get closer. She gets up to the wall and she's like, oh, it's a big ass roach. I said, you're okay with that? She said, he's not in my room. She can see that I'm visibly bothered by this roach. So she's like, would you like me to take care of your little friend for you? And it is a little emasculating because I'm a big guy and she's like 5'2". So she's like, move, fool. She takes off her shoes, she grabs it, she gets up on a chair, and she brings it back, and she's like, soy la 69. Bam! Nailed that roach. Threw down her shoe, put it on. I look at the wall, and it kept moving. And I said, you have angered our friend. And she was like defensive. Fool, round two. So she grabs her shoe, gets back up on the stool, and she brings it back. And just as she's about to nail this roach for the second time, that shit started flying. It was a Harry Potter roach. Oh, man, mira. She's ñañeras, man. So anyway, we were there for 27 days. And for some reason, on the 27th day, out of a team of 30 people that were there to film a special, I was the only one that tested positive for COVID-19. No one else got it. Not Martin, not Alfred, nobody. And I told Martin, dude, I don't know where I got it. And he said, I think you got it from the roach. Anyway, on top of dealing with COVID, and by the way, a sincere apology to the city of San Antonio because I was supposed to tape a special with you guys, and clearly for obvious reasons we couldn't do it. But I hope you understand why I had to do this tonight. On top of dealing with COVID, the vaccine situation, I come to find out someone was trying to extort money from me. Yeah, and they weren't even family. So chingate esta, watch. I get a phone call from my manager telling me that someone reached out claiming to have video footage of me being inappropriate with models. Yeah, see? Look at it. You guys are like me. Yeah, I'm like, I need to see it too. Now, no disrespect to any woman who has ever given me the opportunity. But none of them were models. Maybe a couple of cochinas from West Covina, maybe. But they were not models. They were not models. They were just good citizens. Thank you. So anyway, they said I had until 9 a.m. to make a deposit of $50,000 into an account, or they were going to release the footage to TMZ and my career was going to be over. When I got the message, it was already 6 p.m. So I had missed the deadline by like half a day. So I was like, well, let me turn on the TV, still, see if I still got a job. And clearly this is the first time you guys are hearing about this because there was no footage. They were just trying to scare me into giving them money. The only reason why I'm telling you the story is because only 50,000? Like seriously, that's what my career's worth? Don't get me wrong. I know when I said 50,000, some of you were like, oh, and it is a lot of money. But if you're gonna go after a celebrity, $50,000 is really low. Like, to put into perspective, they did the same thing to Kevin Hart. And with Kevin Hart, they hit him for $10 million. $10 million, which lets me know where I stand on the comedy totem pole of success. There's Kevin Hart with 10 million, and I am like the Groupon of extortion.
Where'd you get your extortion? Got that shit at Ross. It was on clearance.
$50,000. You can't even buy an Escalade with $50,000. That is like a Hyundai Sonata at best, okay? And that's like a base model. Like, you still gotta do this shit to the window, $50,000. But and it's funny because for me to relate to my son, it's a little challenging, you guys. And it's not that I can't relate to a teenager, because I can. I can relate to almost any age. I got people that brought kids here tonight. The problem is that my son doesn't see me as an entertainer. He sees me as the guy that tells him to take a shower, put on deodorant, stop picking your nose. That's me. His friends, on the other hand, I'm like a god to his friends. Every time I drop off Frankie at school now, I pull up, the kids see my car. They freak out and they run over to it and they put their hands on it like it's a shrine. They touch the car like freaking,
Selena está aquí.
Some of you got that. Gracias. Anyway. Then the kids start shaking my car side to side, chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. And Frankie's in the front seat, pissed. He's pissed. He's like, this is bullshit. I'm like, hey, dude, don't get mad at me because I'm more popular than you at your school. Little hater. He gets out of the car all mad. They're still chanting, Fluffy, Fluffy. The thing is that our worlds are very different. His world revolves around Grand Theft Auto, the video game, YouTube, and girls. He's really good at 2 of those. The other one, not so much. And it's not that I'm trying to be a hater about it. It's just that I tell Frankie, listen, you need to start having more conversations. You need to become more talkative and interact like this. See, he'd rather text than talk. That's his whole thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta learn, start to talk to me. I wish you would talk to me more. You could learn a lot about talking by talking to me. I'm just saying, I only do it professionally. But no, he'd rather text. It's at the point now where if I'm in the house and I yell, Frankie, did you take out the trash? Nothing. All of a sudden, cling. I take out my phone, no. But if I say, I got money for you, freaking Houdini, right? Oh, hello. Because you can't text cash. That's my big thing right now. I just want him to take out the trash. He's 16 years old now. He should have been doing this since he was 10, but better late than never. And what he does is he'll sit in the living room and he tunes out the rest of the house. He sits there and he'll put on these headphones that I got him for Christmas a couple of years ago. These Beats with the freaking studio button, and it cuts out all of the sound. They are so strong that when he starts watching his YouTube videos, he can't hear himself laugh. And for me, that is the funniest thing in the world. I'm in the other room and I can hear him. This is what I hear. I'm in the other room like, who brought the Germans? And so I walk out into the living room and I see Frankie and he's laughing at his phone and I gotta flag him down. I go, hey. And he'll take him off. What's up, Dad? I go, Frankie, can you do me a favor? Can you please take out the trash? Okay. And then he puts them back on. What? Now? I go, yes. Now? When you ask me for a ride, it's because you need a ride when you ask for it, right? Not later. Then he says, where are we going? Just take out the trash. And then he does it. He takes out the trash, but he acts like he's doing me the biggest favor in the world. And he stares me down and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like, and then I'll hold the bag over the can and he makes a sound. I'm like, dude, so much drama. It's crazy. I'd like to have normal conversations with him, but usually I got to take it that far for us to interact. I look forward to conversations, even if it's something small and minute. At least it gives me a chance to trigger another conversation with him. I look forward to a few things. I look forward to December, because in December, Frankie becomes very chatty. Otherwise, he's one-word kid. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, one-word kid. And you try to talk to him. Hey, how's your day? Good. You have any homework? Yeah. You gonna do it? Maybe. You hungry? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Food. Usually that's what I get. But December rolls around, and guess what December is? December is when he becomes very chatty because he has an agenda. All of a sudden, he goes from one word kid to very like, hey, how's your week, Dad? You doing good? Yeah, how are the shows going? You doing all right? Do you need anything? You need anything? I'm like, I needed this in July, just saying. And I know it's fake, but at least, once again, it allows me to put my real conversation on top of his fake one. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. This is cool. You guys are really warming me up for the Tonight Show. I did it once before, and it was kind of funny because I took my mom with me, and we're hanging out backstage, right, and stuff. And Jay Leno walked in, and he was so nice, right? He's like, "Hey, Gabriel, how you going? Welcome to the Tonight Show. We're gonna have a great time. Everything's gonna be great." And then your mom, like, "Oh, you guys know who Jay Leno is now, huh?" So my mom was like, "No, are you the one in charge?" I'm like, "No, mom, please don't do that. Don't mess around." "No, me, I got this one. Don't worry. Don't. I know him. I've seen him on TV before. Hey, you big chin. I'm talking to you." No! He was so cool. Mr. Iglesias, very nice for you to come out to the show. Support your son. This is great, fabulous. He gets my mom loaded with margaritas. So as soon as I come out, you hear Jay Leno go, "Ladies and gentlemen, Gabriel Iglesias." And I come out, right? I'm like, "What's up?" And you hear my mom, "Go, Miko!" My mom, the big supporter. She's happy. She is, man, because at first she wasn't too hot on the whole idea of me doing comedy. Some of the biggest dreams I had, one of them was to do the Apollo in Harlem, New York. I told my mom I was gonna do it. She goes, "Mijo, te van a hacer boo. They're going to think it's Halloween because you hear the boos." And I go and I did the Apollo. And I did good. I haven't done that material yet because you guys are still... No, I'm gonna, now I'm kind of tooting my own horn, in which case I shouldn't be doing that. It kind of, I don't know, as a comedian, we rely on the chuckle, the ha-ha, the hee-hee, even the... Well, some of you guys, sir, you've been giving me this one the whole night. You guys don't realize I can see everybody here, man. I can see you fondling her leg, dude. I've been watching that. I can see everything in here, man. I'm not one of those comics who has to stick to his show. I will let you guys know, you guys are not having the best of times with me. I can pull some CDs out too, and they still got the price tag on them, but magic, comedy. I used to have a guitar, but I broke it. It was one of those little ones that ding, ding. I can't sing, man. Even though I have the last name Iglesias, you'd figure I'd be able to hold a note, but no. I can, and I always get that. Are you related? Are you related? I'm thinking about just dropping the name. But sometimes it works at hotels, like they hear the last name Iglesias, and all of a sudden, ooh, everybody wants to see who's there. And it's like, yeah, it's me and my dad, but he's in the car. He doesn't want to be bothered, so they give me all the cool treatment and stuff. I was in Vegas, I got free cookies, it was good. I gotta milk it for whatever I can, man. I have to.
This next thing I'm going to say is in no way, shape, or form political. So please don't take it that way. The vaccine. Look at some of you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it. Look at him. He's got booster written all over him. Look at him. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your bodies. I'm just here to share a story. I got vaccinated, okay, and I'm not saying it to get approval. I'm just telling you because, hey, look, I was 85% of the underlying conditions. At this point, I'm rolling the dice. Plus, I wanted to work. I got the vaccine, but it was one of those things where, in the beginning, when you wanted to get the vaccine, you couldn't just walk into a CVS. You had to make an appointment. and it was a drive out. You couldn't just show up, because I tried. Oh, I tried using the face. I'm like, hey. Apparently this only works at Red Lobster. Oh yeah, I could show up at Red Lobster at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's on. Do you have reservations? It's Fluffy, make biscuits! But for the vaccine, no, I made my appointment like everyone else. It was a drive-out location, There's a little speaker box. May I help you? This is very familiar. Yeah, let me have a large vaccine. Pfizer, Moderna. I got a coupon, whatever's free. Pull up to the window. And then I pull up to the next window. And then a guy who's all covered up. He's got the whole, Then you give him your arm, and then they harpoon you, and they make you park your car for 10 to 15 minutes in case you have an allergic reaction. So I'm sitting in the car, and I got the radio going and the AC going, and I glance over, and I notice that there's people there protesting. And that's fine. Protesting is a right, and I'm all for it, okay? My problem is when protesters leave the sidewalk and get right in your face. So here's what happened. I glance over, I see the protesters, and I locked eyes with one of them. And I could do this all day. I'm in the car, right? Like, what? The lady who I'm looking at all of a sudden starts walking towards me. And I'm like, shit. She gets to my car and she starts going off on me. And I have never had a complete stranger go off on me for no reason at all. She gets to the car and she's like, "You are so stupid. You are so stupid. How could you get the vaccine? How could you get the vaccine? You have no idea what you just put inside your body, dumbass." I didn't know what to say. I was like, "Bitch, I eat chorizo." You have no idea what that vaccine has to work through in order to have any type of effect whatsoever. It's got to go through years with the chorizo, chicharrón, carnitas, carne asada, freaking hot dogs, bologna, spam, menudo, caldo de res. Oh. It's got to go through the gauntlet. I have a bus driver named Dave who has never received any credit, and he's been working for me for almost 10 years now. This man has successfully gotten me to every single comedy show on time without fail. If I had to describe him to you, okay? Dave looks like the word America. Not America, America. He's about 6 feet tall, he's white, he has a gray beard, and he wears a trucker hat. And he's gotta be one of the most hardworking people I have ever met. Now, when I say hardworking, hey, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year, so I know. Difference is, I fly home every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Dave stays on that bus and he gets it to the next city where we meet him. He works anniversaries, holidays, special moments. Christmas time, I was with my family. Dave was driving that bus on the East Coast. New Year's, I was with my family. Dave was on the East Coast driving that bus. One of the hardest working people I've ever met. I just want to give him a shout out.
In addition to being hardworking, he's very honest. Now, when I say honest, I don't mean, oh, he does his taxes right. I mean painfully honest, no filter honest. He talks the way people used to. He does not have time to mince words. He just calls it like he sees it. Before me, he used to work with a man by the name of Kenny G. Grammy Award winner, amazing, amazing music. One day, Kenny G was on his tour bus that Dave was driving, and I guess the two of them had a little discussion, and Kenny G used some words that Dave would have rather him not have used, and instead of getting into it with him, this is what Dave does. Kicked Kenny G off of his own bus. Because he would rather lose his job than lose his self-respect. And that's the man I work with. He's a bad dude. You guys are clapping, but you should have seen the interview. Oh man, it was a good one. He looks at me and he says, hey, let's get one thing straight. I don't give a shit who you are. You treat me right, I'll treat you right. You pay me on time, you'll live. Not to mention the fact that he keeps that tour bus squeaky clean. And he takes a lot of pride in that as well. One night, I was drinking on the bus, and I go to put my cup down, and I missed the table, and the cup hit the floor. I didn't get up right away to get the cup, because I figured I'm gonna get up in a couple minutes and make myself another drink. I'll pick up the cup then. Dave sees the cup on the floor, and then he looks at me and says, hey, I ain't your mama, pick that shit up. I get to the back of the bus and I'm like, wait a minute, I pay him. Hey, Dave, shut up. Yeah, I'll be in the back in my room. Thank you. Drive safe. And people tell me, you work with a man who talks that way to you? Why? Let me tell you why. Because he's honest. With Dave, you know exactly what you get. Nowadays, it is so hard for me to tell who's being genuine and who has an agenda. And with him, you know exactly where you stand. If he likes you, he loves you. And if not, you're on the curb with Kenny G. That being said, I have a story to share. About a year and a half ago, maybe longer, we're on the bus and we're heading down the highway. Just so you have kind of an understanding of the bus layout, let's say this is the front. Here's Dave, the driver, empty seat, and then a sliding door that goes in between him and the rest of the tour bus. My buddy Alfred and I are in the living room portion and we're watching TV. We're watching the news. And on the news, there's this person who is running for some type of office. No particular office. And I guess their big plan is to erect a structure between two bodies of land. Somewhere. And I guess they want one side of the structure to finance the entire project. Well, my buddy Alfred and I, we have a lot of family that works in construction, and we know a bad job when we see one. So we started to voice our opinion out loud about how we felt about this person and what they wanted to do. We're being very loud. So loud, Dave can hear us. And then we hear Dave. America. I yell out to Dave. I said, be quiet, Dave. This isn't about you. He taps a button on the dashboard that activates the sliding door. And when the door's about that far from closing, he yells out, I'm building a wall. I couldn't even get upset.
because I was too much in shock over the fact that that came out of someone 4 feet away from me. My buddy Alfred and I, we look like chickens. We're like, my cell phone goes off. I take out my phone, and there's a text message from Dave. And I said, that's right, he better say I'm sorry. He better say just kidding. I open up the text message, and it says, and you're paying for it. And people tell me, you still work with him after that? Yes, I do. I trust that man with my life every single night. I know where his heart's at. He can say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he still has to drive around the king of the Mexicans. And by the way, I know I keep pointing at people in the front right here. If you're here tonight with someone you have no business being here with, and you see a camera coming by, just be like, hey, Victory! They're very respectful. They'll go to the next person. Don't even worry about that. Before I forget, you guys, I would like to thank the Allstate Arena for providing some amazing accommodations backstage. Let me tell you right now, I love my dressing room for the simple fact that it has basic things that I really like light switches. A lot of these arenas are now starting to go green, and so they're taking away the light switches and they're replacing them with sensors. Sensors are cool when they work. You know what I mean? Like when you're 10 feet away and it senses you and the whole room just... What I don't like is that when they're messed up, then you have to walk into a dark-ass room and establish your presence. But then you stand still for 4 seconds. No. Shit! In addition, backstage, my sink has knobs on it. I have control of the temperature and the pressure of the water, which in the Chicago area I believe is very important, especially in the winter. Oh man, you guys are no joke in the winter. You need warm water when you wash your hands. You can't rely on a sensor that gives you nothing but cold water, because you wash your hands with cold water, your hands get all cryptic. Then you go outside and people are making fun of you. Look at Thriller. But my dressing room, you guys, has a sink that has hot and cold. You can control the water. You can control the temperature. You can control the pressure. I hate it when they take that away from us and they replace it with that little sensor. So now, in addition to being a comedian, now I gotta be a magician. I'm not a magician, but if you watch me wash my hands, that's what I look like, you know, just... Nothing. Then you walk away. Shh. I feel like there's someone behind the mirror messing with me, like, watch this. Some places stop there. Some places keep going. I like a lot of soap when I wash my hands. I like a good soap dispenser. I like the, the pump. I hate it when they take that away from us and then they replace it with that little spout that goes next to the faucet. You stick your hand under it and it gives you that little booger of soap. You know what I mean? That little moco, you put it under. You know you need more, so you pull it out and then you go back in, but the sensor's like, no, it's still you. Now you gotta trick it, right? Once you get enough soap on your hands, now you gotta try to wash it off. But you can't wash it off then and there because the timer for the water has timed out. So now you have to back up and now you have to put on a second performance. Now it's a race to get that soap off your hands. Once you get the soap off your hands, now you gotta try to dry your hands. Some places still give you a towel, some places give you paper towels. Some take the paper towels and they put them in a box on the wall with another sensor. And there you are. 3 inches of paper.
3 inches, Chicago. You can't do anything with 3 inches. Ask any woman, they'll tell you. Or a guy, I'm equal opportunity. I need control of the paper. I need the crank. Some places stop there, some places keep going. Have you ever walked into the bathroom stall, closed the door, locked it, turned around, looked at the toilet, and seen a blinking red light on the wall? And you're like, really? Here too? All you're trying to do is get the tissue paper off the wall for the toilet seat. You take one step. I haven't even done anything. You grab the paper. Hey! You turn around and you put it on like a cape. And you let it slide down your back while you slowly try to time it just right. And just as you're about to sit down, somebody always walks into the bathroom and distracts you. Huh? But it's too late. Your knees are bent. And unless you do CrossFit, you're not coming back from that one. Then your bare ass touches the seat. And you're like, ah! And just when you think it can't get any worse, and all this water splashing up, hitting you right in the ass. And then the water goes down the drain and it creates that air vortex that goes right between your legs. So now you have a tsunami in the back. You have a tornado in the front. And who's the victim? Pikachu. And he's holding on for dear life. You haven't even made magic yet and you've already been violated by plumbing. Now you do what you need to do. You finish. Now it's time for cleanup, time for maintenance. So you reach over for the toilet paper, and the problem with using the restroom nowadays is that most venues, including this one, instead of putting a human-size toilet paper roll inside of the human-size toilet paper roll dispenser, they take their ass to Costco or Sam's Club or one of these places where you buy in bulk, and they buy that giant gorilla roll of toilet paper. And then they come back here and they force it into that little tiny compartment. And then they close the door on it. So now this giant wheel is locked in place. You can't even spin it. You're just... You can't even find where it starts because they glue it. Out of desperation, you gotta pull out your car keys and cut into the side of it like a bag of cocaine on Narcos. Then you get the paper, you try to wipe. Chicago, a year from now, I am predicting that they're gonna take 100% control of the restroom. You're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna think of me because you're gonna see it. You're gonna look over to get the toilet paper, and there's gonna be a blinking red light on it. And you're gonna be like, oh my God, Fluffy called it. And what are you gonna have to do? One sheet. You're gonna get frustrated and just sit on it. Sorry, bro. I know that was a lot of culo. I threw at you right there. She's like, it's like Magic Mike. I'm so sorry, bro. That was a lot. Damn. Yeah. So I get a letter in the mail from my old high school, and it's like, time for the reunion. My girlfriend saw the letter. She's like, ooh, your reunion. I go, yeah, my reunion. When is it? When are we going? Actually, I was gonna take my friend Tony, because, we went to high school together. He's my best friend since high school, so I was gonna take Tony. You're gonna take Tony instead of me. That's what's gonna happen, huh? You're gonna take Tony instead of me. Your girlfriend, you're gonna take Tony. No. It's okay. It's okay. You take Tony, okay? And I hope you have a great time. Oh, thanks. I knew you'd understand, baby. I love you. Don't ask too many questions, you know what I mean? So my buddy Tony and I, we go to a high school reunion. We get there early, too early. There's nobody in the banquet hall. So we go upstairs to the bar area. We're watching a basketball game. Everything is cool until some guy recognized me. Hey, you're the comedian. What's up, dude? Dude, funny, bro. Let me buy you a shot. Actually, man, I have my reunion right now, and I don't want to show up drunk. Oh, I see how it is, bro. You're too good, huh? That's what it is, huh? Excuse me, George Lopez. Let's do the stupid shot. All right, bartender shot. So he freaking makes a double. And we freaking cling, cling, and slammed it. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's do another one. Oh, hey, man, I'm okay. Thank you. See how it is, Paul Rodriguez? Let's do another shot. And he kept this pattern going. He must have had like 7 comedians behind his freaking wallet, one after another. I got so drunk. I was that level of drunk where you can't even walk straight. You got to look at the ground to navigate. You're just kind of. I get to the reunion. There's a lady at a table, and she's got stickers on the table that say, hello, my name is. And then with a Sharpie, you write your name. I was so drunk, I couldn't even write Gabriel. I wrote Flaco, which is Spanish for skinny. So, I freaking write that, stick it on, and we walk in. The party's going on, I'm trying to find a table. My buddy Tony took off. I couldn't find him. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God. All of a sudden, the lights come up, and the class president is holding the microphone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wilson High School class reunion. Let's just cut to the chase, find out what everyone's been up to, and keep the party rocking.
So she pulls out a list.
Who's done this? Who's done that? Who has the most children?
Some girl in the back.
7.
Everybody's like, puta. Now you remember. Okay. All right? She keeps going down the list.
Who's done this? Who's done that? Who's been on television?
Everybody at my table who wasn't talking to me before, they weren't talking to me before. Now they're like, right here, right here, right here. I'm like, no, I'm drunk, no, shh. Sure enough, here comes the girl.
Oh, we have a celebrity over here. Come on, say something. Get up here, Flaco. Come on, Flaco, get up here.
No, I'm okay.
Oh, come on, get up here. Are you too good or what?
So I got mad and I jumped up. I'm not too good. Everybody, my name is Gabriel Iglesias. I don't want to say a whole lot right now because I've been drinking and I don't want to say nothing stupid. It's really nice to be here with everybody. I see 2 girls here tonight. 2. Who, when I was in the 12th grade, I asked out to the prom. And they said no. But you know what? It's okay. Let me go. It's okay. You know why it's okay? Because like she said, I've been on TV. And you 2 girls who said no, you got fat. One of them yells out,
You're fat too.
I know I'm fat, but I was fat in high school. I kept my figure, why couldn't you?
I will tell you, though, that I did not handle the breakup well. She was, in fact, the first breakup, like real. She was my first true love. I'll just say it. She was my first true love. And I did not handle it well. You're supposed to have your heart broken when you're like 12. When you have your first crush. That's when you're supposed to have your first heartache, not in your 40s. It's supposed to be when you're young, when you're little, when you're resilient, you know? You're like, you realize it's not going to work out, so you're devastated. No! And yeah. Not when you're in your 40s. So without divulging too much information, let me just tell you that when everything was finalized, I was at the gas station and I got a text message basically saying, everything's been signed, it's official, it's turned in. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I get in the car, I start the car, and then I put it in drive. And that's when it hit. That's when it became real. That's when it was like, oh my God, I can no longer go home. That's no longer an option. I have messed things up. I can no longer go back to what I called home. I have to restart my life right then and there at the gas station. And I had a full-blown meltdown. And some of you know that my tour came to an end a while back, and people were wondering, is it drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it mental health? I was going through my first breakup. How was I supposed to be an effective comedian when I couldn't stop crying? You know what I mean? It was like, it was bad. And you guys have heard the shows before. You know I never bring this up. It was the lowest point of my life. I had never felt so sad, weak, vulnerable, depressed, lonely, everything all rolled into one. And it was at the lowest point of my life that I found that's right, country music. Country music knows when you're sad. Country music knows when you're weak. Country music knows when you're vulnerable and you need something to fill the void. I used to fight off country music. I used to look at country music in the face and tell country, you could take your ache, you break your heart, you keep on moving. But not today. Let me tell you what's going on. I'm in the car and I'm crying so much. My tears are rolling down my cheek and they're blending with my snot. They're blending with my mocos. My tears are blending with my mocos and then blending with my babas, with my drool. I have 3 different fluids coming out of my face at the same time. My neck looked like menudo. It was bad. All I needed was a pinche limón y cebolla. That's it right there. I am making ugly sounds and I don't want to hear myself, so I turn on the stereo and I started hitting buttons and it lands on the country station. And I knew immediately that it was country music I was listening to, and I did not try to change the station because I figured, you know what? I deserve to suffer more for the mistakes I made and the people I hurt. So I let it play and play and play and play. I listened to country music for over an hour, and I came to this conclusion. Country music has at least one song that will speak to your heart directly because you feel like the artist wrote the song specifically about you and your life because of how detailed the songs are. Oh yeah, my hat's off to country music singers and artists. You guys, you know how to do something very well, and it's not till you experience a certain time of your life that it makes sense. I'm in that car bawling, and all of a sudden on the radio I hear this. It's been 7 days since you seen her. How does he know it's been 7 days since I've seen her? You just can't get her off your mind. 'Cause every little thing that you do or say is another reason you pushed her away. And now you're sitting in your car all alone. What does he do? Make it stop! And it doesn't stop. It keeps kicking you on the ground, reminding you what a piece of crap you are. You should have gone home and locked the door, but you was outside being a whore. And now you're sitting in your car all alone.
This past funny, man. Funny, man.
I will tell you, though, that I did not handle the breakup well. She was, in fact, the first breakup, like real. She was my first true love. I'll just say it. She was my first true love. And I did not handle it well. You're supposed to have your heart broken when you're like 12, when you have your first crush. That's when you're supposed to have your first heartache, not in your 40s. It's supposed to be when you're young, when you're little, when you're resilient, you know? You're like, you realize it's not gonna work out, so you're devastated. No! And yeah. Not when you're in your 40s. So without divulging too much information, let me just tell you that when everything was finalized, I was at the gas station and I got a text message basically saying, everything's been signed, it's official, it's turned in. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I get in the car, I start the car, and then I put it in drive. And that's when it hit. That's when it became real. That's when it was like, oh my God, I can no longer go home. That's no longer an option. I have messed things up. I can no longer go back to what I called home. I have to restart my life right then and there at the gas station. And I had a full-blown meltdown. And some of you know that my tour came to an end a while back, and people were wondering, is it drugs, is it alcohol, is it mental health? I was going through my first breakup. How was I supposed to be an effective comedian when I couldn't stop crying? You know what I mean? It was like, it was bad. And you guys have heard the shows before. You know I never bring this up. It was the lowest point of my life. I had never felt so sad, weak, vulnerable, depressed, lonely, everything all rolled into one. And it was at the lowest point of my life that I found that's right, country music. Country music knows when you're sad. Country music knows when you're weak. Country music knows when you're vulnerable and you need something to fill the void. I used to fight off country music. I used to look at country music in the face and tell country, you could take your ache, you break your heart, and you keep on moving. But not today. Let me tell you what's going on. I'm in the car and I'm crying so much. My tears are rolling down my cheek and they're blending with my snot. They're blending with my mocos. My tears are blending with my mocos and then blending with my babas, with my drool. I have 3 different fluids coming out of my face at the same time. My neck looked like menudo. It was bad. All I needed was a pinche limón y cebolla. That's it right there. I am making ugly sounds and I don't want to hear myself, so I turn on the stereo and I started hitting buttons and it lands on the country station. And I knew immediately that it was country music I was listening to, and I did not try to change the station because I figured, you know what? I deserve to suffer more for the mistakes I made and the people I hurt. So I let it play and play and play and play. I listened to country music for over an hour and I came to this conclusion. Country music has at least one song that will speak to your heart directly because you feel like the artist wrote the song specifically about you and your life because of how detailed the songs are. Oh yeah, my hat's off to country music singers and artists. You guys, you know how to do something very well, and it's not till you experience a certain time of your life that it makes sense. I'm in that car bawling, and all of a sudden on the radio I hear this. It's been 7 days since you seen her. How does he know it's been 7 days since I've seen her? You just can't get her off your mind. 'Cause every little thing that you do or say is another reason you pushed her away. And now you're sitting in your car, all alone. How does he know? Make it stop! And it doesn't stop. It keeps kicking you on the ground, reminding you what a piece of crap you are. You should have gone home and locked the door, but you was outside being a whore. And now you're sitting in your car, all alone.